Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I am your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. We got quite a panel here today. We got my buddy Jason, Lance, and Rich here to talk about some NXT Takeover The End. How's it going, fellas?
Good, doing good. This Lance here. That was a good show last night.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm good too.
I'm doing good. Lance, Jason, how you doing? Joey, happy belated birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah, it was your birthday. Did you get a cake?
No.
No cake? Oh man.
Not even on my birthday. We're going out for dinner after the show.
There you go. It's either late or early. It's really, really early for next year or late.
Yeah, well, however you want to call it. So, what did you guys think of the NXT Takeover The End overall?
I really enjoyed it. I should watch NXT more often. I always complain that Raw sucks, and then we get that, and it's like, man, why aren't I watching NXT more?
As somebody who has seen every single NXT takeover, it was good, but to me, it was not what I was expecting. I was actually expecting a little more, to be honest.
Joe, is it my turn?
Yep.
Sorry. I enjoyed it, man. Like, I thought a couple of the matches could have been one match in particular. I would have liked to seen the new guy, the Almas guy. That was his name, right? Andrade Almas, CN. I would have liked to seen that match go a little longer because I like Ty Dillinger, and I would have liked to seen a little bit more of what the guy can do. I know he's been wrestling dark matches for them now, like house shows, for like a month and a half or something. So he definitely is in shape. So that would have been, something that might have been a little bit more interesting if they would have stretched him a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of a short match. I'd never seen either of those guys before, so that was all new to me. Like I said, I gotta watch NXT more.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna get into. Is the first match of the night was Ty Dillinger, and I'm gonna try and pronounce his name. I might butcher it. Versus Andre Cien Almas.
Andrade.
Oh, Andrade. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, as the only Spanish guy here, I'll say Andrés Cien Almas.
Thank you.
That sounds a little more like it.
Can we just... Oh, shoot. Sorry. Can we just, dub his pronunciation over every time we say it? Can you do that later on?
Or we could just call him La Sombra, because that's what he was called before he signed with NXT.
That's just as hard.
So where was that guy from then? He was from Lucha Underground, or?
Just Mexico.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen that guy.
Because he used to wrestle under a mask.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why I've never seen him before.
Oh, can I mention something before the mask that I noticed that I just remembered?
Good.
Did you guys see the introduction video when the show came on, where they were showing all the wrestlers who were promoted up to the main card, to the main roster?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did anybody notice that Finn Balor was thrown into that video, and he's the only guy currently in NXT that was in that video?
That's interesting.
Yep. So if you go back and it'll only take you 10 seconds. If you throw your WWE Network on and you watch it, it had all the. I think Bayley was in it too, which is another thing that I found interesting, that those two would be in there.
Ah, that is interesting.
I agree. The only thing, and we basically talked about this match, is I wish it was a good match. I thought it would go a little longer, because I really like Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, he's really good, and interesting that Corey Graves said something along the lines of he's one big win away from going to the next level, and that's the same exact thing they said the last time we saw Tyler Breeze in NXT.
Oh man, if he gets the Tyler Breeze treatment, Might as well just quit now.
Well, let's just hope it just means a move to the main roster, not the Tyler Breeze treatment.
I almost feel like Breeze got promoted out of sympathy, to be honest with you. Like, the dude was down there for like 5 years, 3 different gimmicks now, because he was Dalton, right? Mike Dalton or whatever.
I think so.
Prior to being Breeze.
Right.
So he's on his second name in NXT. Well, was.
Well, I just think it was one of those things where Vince was like, you know what? I just want Triple H to shut up and leave me alone about this guy. So let me just promote him. What he doesn't know is that I'm going to bury him once he gets here.
Yeah. Kind of what I think is going to happen with Apollo Crews as well, because that guy is. I don't think Apollo Crews is very good. He's an athlete, but he's not a very good wrestler, and he's terrible on the mic.
Yeah, the dog agrees. The puppy agrees.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said Apollo Crews, and my dog got pissed off. There you go.
I never liked Apollo Crews. I always thought he was overrated.
I like his work, but he, like Jason just said, his mic skills are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And his personality is just even worse.
Yeah, because it's just he's that like smiling guy.
Yeah. So.
That's not much of a gimmick. Smile.
No.
I know. I liked Almas's finisher. I haven't seen that before. That's a little different.
Yeah. The only problem I have with that finisher is it was a running teabag. His knees did not come anywhere near landing on Dillinger's head.
Yeah.
If you watch the replay, they're like, "Oh, the double knees," and I'm like, "Bullshit! The knees didn't hit him." Not even close. He ran in with his legs spread. You can't knee a guy in the head when your legs are spread.
All I have to say about that finisher is Joey Ryan beat that one now. Okay? The guy has a running dick to the face finish.
Yeah, there you go.
That's basically what that was.
Okay, so that was a botch then, you guys think? Because I was like, what the hell happened there? So you're supposed to hit him with the knees, I guess.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a double knee to the face.
Yeah.
And I never seen the guy before, so I'm like, well, maybe that's his move. I don't know.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Okay,
it was like a Bronco Buster to the extreme, almost, is what it turned into.
Yeah. And for those that didn't see it, Almas picks up the victory with this finisher. They haven't given it a name yet. So, moving along, we had... And after I watched it, I agree with you, Jason. This was the match of the night. American Alpha versus the Revival.
Yep, I also called it match of the night. By far.
Dude, those guys, they've perfected tag team wrestling against each other. I haven't seen 2 tag team matches as good as they've had since Dallas and now last night. Those matches almost leave me speechless. They take you back almost to like the early to mid 90s era of tag team wrestling when you had like 7 or 8 great tag teams in the WWF, the WWE at the same time.
Yeah. It was like an athletic version of the Steiners in American Alpha facing the Brainbusters.
Yeah.
Or Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, whichever.
Dude, I'm sorry. That's a great comparison. Athletic version of the Steiners, Gable and Jordan. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Did you see when Jordan was running around doing the bark like Rick Steiner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this too. I love tag team wrestling. I'll 100% agree. That was like old time wrestling. I loved it.
Yeah, and then speaking of old time tag team wrestling, after the match, the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering. I mean, he's a tag team managing legend. Paul Ellering. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. I was going to say.
Of course.
Because you guys got silent there for a second. I was like...
I was in that's what my reaction was. I was stunned. Like, what's he doing here? Does anybody even know who he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
sure.
why I was, I don't know if it was for the guys that eventually beat up American Alpha, if they were chanting, "Who are you?" or if they were chanting, "Who are you?" to Paul Ellering.
That pissed Kevin Owens off.
Oh
man.
My God, it did.
He wrote out a tweet. I don't remember verbatim, but all I know is that he said, "People at Full Sail chanting at Paul Ellering, 'Who are you?' makes me so glad that I don't wrestle there anymore.
Yep.
I kind of agree, dude. Like, if you don't know who Paul Ellering is, well, it's NXT's brought in a new generation of fans, so you kind of have to give them a pass. But shut up, you know what I mean? You don't have to make the show about you with your chant.
Paul Ellering, he forgot Rocco though, didn't he?
Oh God.
What I liked about it is that the minute that the Authors of Pain jumped in the ring, you saw a whole bunch of fans going to their phones like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
Let's pull up the Wikipedia.
Well, to be honest with you, the last time I've seen Denza and the other guy was on Breaking Ground, the original series of, not last night, but the original. And
yes.
Dude, they look like they buffed up, and they look bigger and different. So
definitely some big boys there.
When I saw them, it reminded me of basically a buffed up version of 3 Minute Warning.
Yes.
Oh man, 3 Minute Warning.
I hope, and I really hope they do not. For some stupid reason, I think they might want to make them the new Road Warriors and put paint on them. Like they tried to with the Ascension. I hope not.
I was, you know what I kind of got out of them, the way they were dressed, is like they kind of reminded me of the Shield.
Yeah.
They attacked. They were kind of like very tactical destruction of American Alpha, and I was like, these guys are like Roman Reigns eating a lot of food and more steroids.
Yeah.
Who they reminded me of, and this is gonna date me, is Doom. Remember them from way back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
The funniest thing I heard about them was when my wife got home and I started like showing her the highlights again, and she saw that part. She was like, "Those guys look like the guys that were at the gym at Planet Fitness a couple weeks ago." I was like, it might have been.
Maybe it was.
But I wonder if American Alpha is going to go up now since they lost the belts.
I think they kind of have to, don't they? I mean, why take the belt off of those guys unless you have a greater plan for them? Because they're great.
Or if they're going to just do a third match at NXT Brooklyn, which would be awesome because since they've each won one,
that would work.
And they never faced each other outside of the 2 takeover specials.
Yeah,
I'd love to see a third match.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
That would make sense.
So do you think they're going to set up the third match, and then that was just their way of introducing the new guys, like letting them come in and destroy? Because usually when you introduce a tag team like that, though, you have them destroy the champions,
right?
To put themselves over. But see, that's why I thought like, they beat the loser, they like destroyed the losers. So it made me kind of feel. I'm on the fence. Now that you say that, it kind of puts me like, I like that I don't know what they're going to do now. And it's, because it's good.
Well, and it's good also because it's also showing that just because you come up, for example, let's just say American Alpha would have won that match and kept the titles. I think now NXT's the place where you have to earn the title match. You can't just go in there like Gallows and Anderson and beat up the champions and then say, well, we're the number 1 contenders now.
Yeah.
Without doing anything to earn it.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Or you just have to fail 2 times in the WWE and then go to Japan and come back. That, like
that
Gallows.
Works.
Yeah, Festus, Luke Gallows and his straight edge.
And if he fails now,
Matt Luke watch your back too, wasn't he?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, he was the
fake king. The fake king. Yeah. Sorry. Damn,
it's all good. The Revival eventually pick up the win and win back the tag belts last night. So,
man. By the way, I don't know what you guys think of it or how you thought it looked, but when the Revival tried to hit that move on Gable and he reversed it into a belly to belly off of like the top rope, kinda.
That was awesome.
Did it? It looked almost botched, though, right?
Like, it looked a little botched, but but it still was effective.
He still landed it, and you could still tell that it was something that probably should have hurt both of them still.
Right.
Which they both sold it well. That was what I was. But those 2 teams, man, dude. Like, if if they wrestled like every other week, I'd probably still enjoy it. just I don't know.
They just have a good chemistry.
They really do. Like, they're old school. They're just tag team wrestling, man. Like the way it should be. The way that we haven't seen in what, like a decade.
Yeah. One of the best spots of the match was when they tried to throw the Revival together, like to run into each other, and they grabbed arms like the ring around the posy type thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that was 80s wrestling right there. I was like, holy shit, it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal with those guys. They have to work a lot at their craft to be able to have that kind of chemistry. Because I mean, you have to have chemistry to begin with, but they also have to be working like day and night at what they do.
Oh yeah.
And they're probably friends, you would think. You know, it's a lot easier to have a good match, I'm assuming, with a buddy of yours than somebody you never talked to, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
I don't know if they're friends.
You're just
throwing
assuming.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just thinking that because the old adage in wrestling is that friends always do it the best.
Yeah. All right, moving along, we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Austin Aries.
Did not live up to the hype in my mind.
I felt it was flat, a little flat.
And Aries was very botchy.
Yes.
I was gonna say that he looked very sloppy for him at least.
A lot of their spots did not pull them off well. It just like. That's like 2 takeovers in a row. I think Aries has kind of not looked so great because I don't think he looked that good against Corbin either.
No.
Yeah. And I think at some points when he was botching, he pissed Nakamura off because I remember at one point when Nakamura got him down to just kneed him like hard twice in the back of the head.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, that shit looks legit to me. That looks like you fucked me in front of this crowd and people watching at home, and I'm gonna kick your fucking ass for this now.
Yeah, and Nakamura does have a history of being known as that strong style stuff isn't just a gimmick. He's
That's
known.
a shoot.
Yeah, those Japanese wrestlers in general are known to be stiff, very stiff in the ring.
Very.
And I think Aries might have learned it the hard way last night.
But he came to the ring with his ribs taped up, right? Like.
Yeah, that was weird.
And they gave no backstory, which is weird for NXT as to why that happened.
Did you hear Graves? He was like, oh, well, I don't know if his ribs are hurt. Maybe he's just taping them up to hide another injury. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Who fed him that line? Byron?
Yeah.
Jesus.
What did you think, Lance?
well, I had internet. My WWE net decided to go on a fuck up now for this match, so I didn't know if they were botching or if it was my net, so it must have been the botching maybe. But what I got, I didn't mind. Like I said, I don't watch NXT that much as I should, so I don't know what to grade it on, right? So,
well, Aries, they're both supposed to be world class wrestlers, so I guess you could like grade it off of that. Just think, they should almost put a main event type of match on. Like those guys should be up there with the guys who should almost steal the show, and I don't think they came anywhere near it. So to me, that kind of just they were almost like a watered down match, kind of. It just didn't flow very well.
The one thing I was wondering is, and this is just an observation, that maybe Aries was like rushing things and nervous because he's not used. I know, granted, TNA has a few fans, but maybe not used to wrestling in front of that amount of people that are that into the product.
Dude, Aries wrestled in Japan.
And he also wrestled, the match that he wrestled in Dallas was, in my opinion, he wrestled it better than this one, and it was in a bigger arena. Yeah,
10K is what the place down there held when they wrestled in Dallas.
No, it was just a thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I understand. He's a guy that should put on a great match, and he didn't. So you just start wondering why. And maybe he's not as good as he used to be. I don't know. Or like I was saying, we were talking about earlier. I think You think it's possible that maybe they just haven't put him in with two guys that match his style, and that could be what?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Like he's a guy that styles have to make his matches, and he's just been in with two guys that he just doesn't have any chemistry style wise.
Yeah, but Corbin, you can't even count that one. Corbin
has no style.
Yeah, Corbin will be the death of your fucking career if that's what you're living and dying on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All right, moving on. Oh, I forgot. Nakamura wins with the Kinshasa. Yeah, with Corey Graves losing his fucking mind doing that.
Yeah, they have him sounding like he's like, I guess they're trying to put the Japanese feel, like Kinshasa.
Yeah.
And then what's the idiot that's there with calling the matches with Corey
Phillips.
Graves?
Tom Phillips.
He's like, afterwards, he's like, oh, the Kinshasa. He hits it and he wins. I'm like, don't say it, please. Just let Corey Graves say it. Just let Corey Graves call that move, please.
Yeah.
All right, next we had Nia Jax versus Asuka.
I'll go on record and say that the NXT women's matches at TakeOver have been either the show-stopping matches or the match that basically made the whole show until last night. That was just...
It was not good.
At all.
Well, I mean, Nia Jax is in it.
I know.
She's got it. She's either got to become a full-time female valet, like for a guy or for another women's wrestler, or she's got to go. Like she's taken up time for some of these other women there who could be, furthering their careers and making themselves better. It's almost like, I mean, we know why she's getting pushed. There's no secret as to why, and it's the reason why that guy is the champion right now in the WWE. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I would think that if one guy was going to go away from that, it would be Triple H. But I guess, I guess not.
Well, I mean, you figure that before last night's match, the only real pushed female competitor that was a heel was Nia Jax, because nobody wanted to see, again, Asuka kick the shit out of Eva Marie.
No, not at all.
They've bought in Tessa Blanchard, but they haven't really done anything with her yet.
That's me and Mike were talking earlier this afternoon, and I told him she's going to be one of the next big ones too, because I saw her wrestle a lot in the WSU. I don't know if you ever,
Yes, and I saw her wrestle in the WrestleCon show over WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
Yeah, she's very good. She definitely is taken after her father.
That's Tully Blanchard's daughter?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Never heard of her.
She's been on NXT once or twice, but they've basically jobbed her out.
To Nia Jax, right? Was the last time she was jobbed out?
Yep. Yeah, she jobbed out to Alexa Bliss first.
Oh,
and
God.
Then she got squashed by Nia Jax.
Oh, God. I think 3 weeks ago was the Nia Jax embarrassment.
Yeah. I would have rather... to be honest with you, I would have rather seen Carmella fight Asuka last night.
Yeah.
Because she's improved a lot. I mean, I know that they don't want to have every single takeover be a face versus a face in the women's division.
Yeah.
But look at the shit you got when you put the so-called, biggest heel woman there.
Well, me and Jason were talking about this earlier. Once you get past Asuka, the division is incredibly weak.
Yep.
Well, behind the scenes, it's not. On television, it is. That's their problem.
That's what I meant.
They need to push some of these, like Peyton Royce. She can go. She can wrestle. But they got her stuck with this gimmick where she comes out smelling a flower. I mean, come on. And you have Carmella, who I think is going to get even better now that she is just a wrestler. She's no longer a ballet. Now, instead of touring with them and wrestling her 3-minute match and then coming out with Enzo and Cass, now she can stay at the Performance Center when she's not needed and further her development, tone her craft or however you want to say it. She can, move forward. I like Carmella. I think Carmella's very athletic in the ring. I think she has a lot of potential.
What do you think, Lance?
Well, like I said, I don't watch as much NXT. That's the first time I've ever seen that Nia Jax.
Yes.
Like, I seen pictures of her, and I'm watching, and I'm like, oh my God, why is she out there? This is horrible. Does she ever even train? That's what I thought. I thought the only reason she's there is...
She reminds me of a 2016 version of Bertha Faye.
I can't disagree. Well,
Jesus.
The problem with her is I don't know if you guys watch Breaking Ground. Lance probably hasn't.
No.
I saw it.
Yeah. Remember the episode where they told her she needed to drop some pounds and she's in her car eating cheeseburgers afterwards? I'm like, what? You have... If you have a golden opportunity to become a star in wrestling. Your bloodline is there, so they're going to push you. But if you take advantage of it and you do what they're telling you to do, you could be a star, a women's star. And she's just like totally disregarding anything they're telling her, and it just cracked me up that night. Like I think I watched it, and then we were talking about it, weren't we, Mike? When it happened, I was like, she's got to go. Like she literally does.
But you want the answer that she would give you, that she said 160 times on that show? My cousin is The Rock.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah.
So they could tell her to lose weight. She's not going to do shit. She's going to do whatever she wants because she knows if they fire her or they job her out or anything, goodbye once a year at WrestleMania with your flamethrower or whatever.
Well, at this point, that might be a good thing, too.
And the other thing is, if you watch Breaking Ground, and I had talked about this to you last night, Rich, when they asked her, like, what was the moment you knew you wanted to be a wrestler? She's like, well, I went with my cousin, The Rock, to one of the WrestleManias and was like, oh my God, look at this spectacle. This is what I want to do.
Yeah, my cousin, The Rock. Oh. You asked her, what'd you have for breakfast this morning? Well, my cousin for The Rock told me the eggs were good.
Every sentence on Breaking Ground starts with my cousin The Rock.
Yeah, my cousin The Rock. Yeah, what are you doing tonight? I'm going to go home and watch some matches by my cousin The Rock.
Hey, whatever works.
I started watching wrestling when I was younger with my cousin The Rock.
Yeah, there you go. All right, moving along, we have the main event, which was Finn Balor and Samoa Joe in a cage.
That cage did not need to be there because, one, I'm going to let you say what you always say, Joey, about cage matches, which I always 100% agree with you. But the cage itself, besides, I think the one time that Balor, before he got pinned, got his face smashed into the side of it a couple times, that was the only uses of that cage.
Well, and the other thing that drives me nuts, and we had agreed about this with cage matches, to win a cage match, you climb out of the cage. You do not pin someone.
Yeah.
Or door it. Yeah, or door it. One or the other.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it takes away, like, the mystique of it.
Right. The crazy thing is, dude, is they had a hardcore type of match at Dallas without a cage.
Yeah.
Like the blood, it was an accident, but it made that match just seem 10 times better.
It basically saved the match.
It made it seem very, very rough, you know. And then last night they just had the cage there, and it was kind of just like a prop, like Rich is your name, right? I don't.
Yes.
know. Yeah, yes. Like Rich said. It was almost like a prop. It was just there. And the only thing it did to me is it annoyed me because the cameras were on the outside of it. And it makes me get like motion sickness or something when I have to see these bars going, you know, when the camera moves and stuff and all you see is bars going through your vision. So it was almost just like it annoyed me more than...
Hey, Lance, did you make that kind of cage?
Oh, probably. They weren't cages, they were gates or fences. But yeah, like I probably was looking at the cage more than the match again. And I did notice about the cage that there was big gaps in between the corners above the turnbuckle. Finn Balor could have probably squeezed right through there, got out.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the match, but it just annoyed me that the finish didn't have anything to do with trying to get out of the cage.
Well, it kind of did. He was escaping when he got caught with the muscle buster from. They say, oh, maybe the top. It wasn't the top rope. It was the second rope.
Yeah.
But, my question to you guys is: do you think that's it for Finn? He lost clean again. It wasn't. There was no.
Shenanigans.
There was no ankle injury or anything like they tried to say in Lowell or whatever. It was just a clean loss.
I honestly thought the cage was put in position for Samoa Joe to walk out through the door or, get kicked out of the door accidentally like heels have done to win cage matches in the past.
Yeah.
So that Balor didn't have to take a fall.
Yeah.
So when he goes up to the main roster, the last image that you have in your head of him is not him getting pinned after a medium muscle buster. I'm not going to call it super because it was on the top rope.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So that's what I thought the cage was there for. I was like, okay, Finn's going to lose, but Joe is going to, walk out the door or some shit. But
they're going to protect him.
Yeah, but he gets pinned 1, 2, 3. I was like, okay, so to answer your question, after the show was over, he climbed up, to the top of the cage and was waving at the fans. And they were saying, thank you, Finn. See you on Monday.
See you Monday. Yeah, I saw the pictures and stuff. I thought what might happen is what you were saying, too. I thought maybe Joe might get him in like that. What's it called? The Coquita clutch or whatever.
Yeah.
By the door. Finn hits him with the Pele kick or something, and Joe flies out. Something like that. Like, going along the lines of what you were saying. But
that would make better sense.
He just beat him. But, we even talked about it like months ago, didn't we, Mike, when I was telling you they can't let Finn job out and then go up.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about ways they could work it to where he goes up, and I mean, I don't know. Like, is he coming up, though? Because they're going to the UK now, NXT, and you want to have your big UK star on the shows, right?
No, he's definitely going to be on the UK tour because he was already advertised. But the UK tour is only, I think, over the weekend.
No, the UK tour goes all the way to the 16th.
Oh, well,
which would be next Thursday.
Right, but if he's coming up, it's going to be.
Then maybe they're going to keep him off. Maybe not bring him up till after Money in the Bank, or maybe at Money in the Bank.
At Money in the Bank is
exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, maybe the club comes out and jumps Cena, and Finn Balor saves Cena, and then you have Styles. Because I mean, that's got to be the way they bring him in, right?
Right.
With the club and him, because he was the original Bullet Club leader, basically.
And I don't think they're going to bring him up as a heel.
You can't. I don't think you can. No, not at all.
The perfect way to bring him up would have been, one, they rushed real quick to establish AJ Styles as the heel versus Cena. What they should have done was have Styles and Cena team up at Money in the Bank against Gallows and Anderson. Cena gets turned on right there by Styles to set up their one-on-one match at Battleground. To then, when he's getting stomped out by the club, that's when you bring out Balor and all that. Because now you have, now you have a good match to set up for SummerSlam.
So Battleground is after Money in the Bank, right?
Yes.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought it was Night of Champions. I don't know the pay-per-view.
No, Night of Champions is in September.
September after SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, yeah. And Battleground is usually like the worst of all the network specials, I guess you could call them now. You don't have to call them pay-per-views.
Yeah, you might, because I mean, I ain't paid for one of them. But man, I'm interested to see where they go and what they do with NXT now. I mean, you have like some open stories now. Like, what's going to happen in the tag team division, the women's. Like, Nia Jax has got to be done now. She's unsuccessfully fought for the belt against 2 straight champions. She's got to be done.
I don't know.
I sent her to Raw.
Now it's like, who is Joe going to feud with?
Yeah, that too.
And who is Asuka going to feud with? Because the dirt sheets were saying that they were saving the Bayley and Asuka match for the Brooklyn show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I said that doesn't make any sense. Like, Why would you? Why would you do that if you what you would normally do is have the matches back to back.
Yeah, or if Bayley's going to be on the main roster by then.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean they kind of set it up though with Bayley being injured. She's not medically cleared to wrestle, to kind of prolong that, to set it back a little bit and then put it into Brooklyn.
Yeah, I gotta mention this, and I just remembered this. One observation I hated about the women's match was when the finish, because like Nia Jax just like screams at Asuka and then she like punk kicks her like twice in the head, and that's it.
Yeah, I was watching that, and then I was watching that talking with you, Joey, and then when I watched it again later, my wife was like, "Why the hell did she scream though?" And I'm like, "You got me."
And no one knows.
Nia Jax, she does whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah. She was screaming for her cousin, The Rock.
Yeah, I was going to say the Rock told her to do that.
Yeah. There you go. That's even better.
Man.
I'm just curious, like Jason saying, where they're going to go, because I have a feeling that NXT is going to get raided for the draft.
Yeah, I mean, who are some people, though, that you think could go up for the draft?
I think for a fact after watching last night, Ty Dillinger is gone. He's going to the main roster.
That works.
Balor is definitely going.
That's another good one.
Bayley is definitely also going, because right now that women's division, even though that they make it seem like there's only 4 people in it, they need to they need to bring up more. I mean, Vince McMahon said in the conference call when he said about all these people coming back before they came back, Rollins and Cena and Wyatt, whenever that is, that 13 new people are coming up within the next month. So we shall see who joins the 10 others that join the 3 that I just said.
The 10 others. Whew.
I know that's a lot of people.
You gotta bring Nia Jax up, give her a title shot, right? Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah.
Jesus God.
So SummerSlam, I think, what do you guys think in main event? Is it going to be the Shield, the triple threat Shield? Ambrose wins the Money in the Bank.
Right now, me and Joey spoke about that before. I'm not totally crazy about the Shield triple threat right now, because if you're watching it, even if Ambrose wins the Money in the Bank, it kind of makes it seem like that's the only way he's on the same level as the other 2.
Yeah.
Which is kind of,
bullshit.
Yeah, it should be Roman Reigns won the goddamn Money in the Bank to be on the level of the other 2, like it is in real life.
Yeah. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, but that's Vince's love interest.
I don't
know
where they're gonna go, but I think Owens is gonna win the briefcase.
That's my pick too.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way, man. It really is.
Yeah, I'm thinking Owens too, but now that how the WWE are, if everybody
thinks it's going to be that way, it's like, let's fuck the fans.
They'll give it to the paper boy, right?
Yeah.
So
why? I don't see that one happening.
No, because they'd be great.
The way they book Zayn lately, like it's almost like they're like half burying him.
Yep. It's like Vince McMahon, to me, doesn't actually know who these guys are.
Yeah.
So he just walks around back and he goes, "Hey, wait a minute. Didn't Daniel Bryan retire? No? Oh, okay. He's wearing a Paperboy hat.
The taxi cab driver.
Maybe Vince guy that drove me here?
Yeah, Vince can say, maybe that is my Paperboy."
Sami Zayn reminds me of Joe Caps from the Hot Fries,
yeah.
that shit with the little guy on it. Isn't that his name, like Joe Caps or whatever?
Lance has always said his gear that he wears at the ring, he looks like a taxi driver.
Yeah.
He kind of does. He kind of does, man.
With his hat.
Yeah.
Just needs to be yellow, not red.
Like, you could tag team him kind of with, like, Bob Holly and his old race car driver checkered shit and everything. Like, you can have the race car driver and the taxi driver.
Hey, that sounds like a money gimmick.
Back in the 90s, it would have a headline Raw.
Oh, God.
The early 90s with Duke the Dumpster Drosy on the other team.
Ugh.
Or, if Barrett was still around, him and Zayn could be a tag team, and they're delivering bad news.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Well, do you remember the meme, Rich? I don't remember it exactly. They were showing Barrett signed with TNA, and they changed his name to like
Disappointment Stu.
Something Stu.
Yeah. Yep.
Man. Oh, man.
Here's an interesting thing I just looked up, guys.
Go.
I was wondering about like the pay-per-view schedule because of the brand split.
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown goes live on the 19th.
Yeah.
Battleground is 5 days later.
Oh.
So I'm going to try, because I have a half decent mind, to think of how are they going to set up matches for Battleground when you're not even sure who's going to be on what show.
I think they're going to start the feuds and then draft everybody that are in the feuds to the same
That
same
would make
thing.
the most sense.
Yeah, we're not really going to get a draft that's going to change any storyline. I think they're just going to have like, oh well, since this guy's in a feud, we'll draft him too, so they can continue that amazing feud live on SmackDown. You know what I mean?
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I think you.
No, I'm just saying that we all say that makes the most sense, right? But I've said that I think 167 times in the last year, and 166 times they've gone the other way.
Well,
that was the only time.
Me and Lance have talked about this, and you'll agree with me when I say this, Lance. Why in the fuck do they open Raw almost the exact same way every week with like a 20-minute promo?
Because they know that no matter what, they're going to have the ratings at that time. Because everybody's going to watch the top of Raw, and when you open that way too, you have a lot of people who get in a few minutes late, and they don't want you missing an actual match.
Well, that makes sense.
So they know they're going to have the ratings, so they can throw anything they want at the top of Raw, and you're still going to tune in. About 10 o'clock is when you're turning off, no matter what. So.
Hey, well, like Rich said to me before, and Lance and you guys will agree, that they're trying to make like Roman Reigns when CM Punk was champion. All right, he's going to be on before 10 o'clock. Now you can go to bed.
Yeah. This was a great episode of Raw because he wasn't even there in person this past week.
Well, and the other thing that amazes me is it's Seth Rollins. They want him to be a heel, but yet they go and put out the most fucking pro-face documentary about him coming back.
And they tried to make him sound heelish in the whole thing, but they're playing this melodramatic music. Well, did I screw up his WrestleMania chance? Maybe I did. But it was still like showing him getting hurt and stuff, the sad parts. I'm like, okay.
I read where Bobby Roode might debut tonight.
Well, they showed him last night walking right behind Regal into Regal's office.
Well,
you
there
mean?
go.
Oh, they're recording tonight, right?
Yeah, they're doing like the 4 weeks worth of tapings tonight, I believe.
Man, I think they need to dump that shit. To be honest with you, they need to start like trying to stay up to date more.
Well, I guess because they don't have that much production. They don't have that much funds in the production.
Yeah.
So I guess Triple H has got a small thing to work with, so that's why he has to do it that way.
When you got the trucks and the camera, you better do it now because you ain't getting it tomorrow type thing.
Did you see Taz's podcast where he predicted that NXT is going to go live from 8 till 9 on Monday nights when they brand split?
Yes, I saw that.
I mean, that could really work, don't you think?
Very much, because it doesn't make sense if you're trying to make Raw and SmackDown on equal ground. Why does one show have an extra hour?
Yeah.
Plus, then people would tune in to watch because NXT is a great lead-in.
Yes, very much.
It's wrestling.
And the problem and we'll see how long that lasts, because the problem is going to be NXT from 8 to 9 will have 4.0 ratings, And then Raw from 9 to 11 will drop off
to about a 2.7 or something.
And then
yeah.
Vince will get mad and bury him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's like the same thing with SmackDown, you guys. They'll let it go for a little while, and then they'll make it the redheaded stepchild again.
Yep. Do you know what really gets me, dude, is I noticed this last night. I was at Extreme Rules in Newark, right?
Uh-huh.
I was more excited to watch NXT at home last night live than I was to go to Extreme Rules in person.
Well, there you go.
And to me, that's a huge tell.
Big time. Wow.
Well, I wasn't too happy about having to go to Newark, but other than that, you know.
Yeah, I went to that same venue. It was like a year and a half ago to see a Raw. That was right at the time when Roman Reigns was on his path to facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And
man,
it's not a nice area, but it's a nice venue.
It's a nightmare to get out of. That's for sure. It took us about an hour to get out of the lot. We were parked in the lot across the street that's kind of like up on the hill where you have to drive down. And you have to put a ticket in, so it takes a minute for every person to get out.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a nightmare, dude. Like, I'll never go there again.
But one thing I was saying, now that you say Extreme Rules, and Seth Rollins came back, that I told Joey this on the Tuesday show. Roman Reigns was supposed to face Seth Rollins at Night of Champions 2014. Roman Reigns' appendix burst. Match doesn't happen.
Yep.
Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are supposed to face each other where Rollins is defending the title. Survivor Series. Seth destroys his whole knee. So this is the third time's the charm because they've never actually fought each other one-on-one on a network special. So I'm just hoping that we just get the goddamn match. Because
I'm kind of just like, I don't want to come off wrong, but I hope if it's not third time's the charm, I hope it's Reigns that gets hurt again.
Yeah,
I would just love if Reigns would just like blow something out, and I'm sorry for saying this because it's so ignorant, and maybe just like bring Ambrose up so we can get a good wrestling match.
No, you want to hear something that I said couple of days ago to somebody that they were laughing at ourselves. I've never cared for John Cena, as a lot of people haven't, right?
None of us, I think, like him.
But you know what? If they're going to do a brand split, and let's just say that when they split the roster, Ambrose and Cesaro, hopefully every guy who's never won the title is on SmackDown. That way, if they do have the 2 world titles now, it'll be a fresh face that's never won the title. Right? I would love to see John Cena now bury Roman Reigns and just take his title at this rate.
That'd be hilarious if Cena just, because I mean it's all about the money and Cena's gonna sell more, you know.
Yep, and Cena,
the kids love him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they're planning to have Reigns and Cena eventually face each other at WrestleMania, I think it's going to be a disaster. It's going to remind me, and Jason will remember this, when they had ECW on Sci-Fi and Batista fought the Big Show. That's the reaction you would get.
Better not have that match last, that's for sure.
Isn't that when Batista won the belt and they like booed the shit out of him and he went livid? It's
the one where they like during the match they're like, "You both suck. You both suck."
And Batista went backstage and went insane, didn't he? Isn't that the?
He was walking down to the ring and he was getting into it with the fans on the way there. I was like, "Holy shit."
Yeah,
it's the one where the fans were chanting "Change the channel."
Yep. That's when.
That's funny.
That's when the ECW fans found out that was not ECW.
Vince's ECW. That was brutal.
Yeah, well, I knew as soon as when the Zombie wrestled the Sandman on the first show or whatever, I knew something wasn't right.
Yeah,
remember that?
And then they had the balls to hold that match, the Batista Big Show match in the Manhattan Center, where ECW, that was like their second home.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm like, and that's the main event? Are you serious?
Yeah. Dude, I don't. Did you go to ECW when it was the original, running like the Manhattan Center and the Hammerstein Ballroom and all those things?
Yeah, I did. And I also went to the ECWWE when it was in the White Plains area.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember about that was that I actually got to witness Kurt Angle's last WWE match, because that was his last match there, where he wrestled Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
And then that Monday he was gone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that whole, like, I was kind of like, it was a little bit of nostalgia seeing it come back, because I like grew up in ECW Arena. Like, I keep wanting to call you your real name. I mean, when we've known each other for 20 years, it's hard for me to call you. Yeah, I grew up in the ECW Arena, and it was like, it was kind of like a slap in the face when they brought that shit back. Well, when they brought it back to be shit.
Hey, Lance, it reminds me of the story you told me about the Canadian Federation up there ripping off WWF guys' names. It'd be like, come see King Kong Bundy Jr.
Yeah, Wrestle Andre the Giant Jr. Oh, it was funny. Yeah, well, they had people show up, and it's funny because people would show up, and they're like, that's not King Kong Bundy. No, that's King Kong Bundy Jr.
Yeah.
You really thought King Kong Bundy was going to come to our local gym?
It's like, come this weekend to see Roman Reigns, R-A-I-N-S. You know, that's I don't know, man.
Yeah, I tell my friends, you just seen King Kong Bundy wrestle Hogan on TV. You think he's showing up here? There's 20 people here.
Hey, well, I mean, when they were on TV back in the day, they used to wrestle at our local high school, and 20 people would be there. Mike will tell you. I mean, Joey will tell you.
It was during the lean years, like 95, 96.
No, dude, it was earlier. It was Hogan and the Sheik headlined it, remember? Bridgeton High School's gymnasium.
Oh, you're right.
Hogan and the Sheik.
We live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and then we had the regional shows with HBK. Remember, they broke the ring. Who was it?
Bundy.
Bigelow. Was it Bundy? I thought it was Bigelow.
It was Bam Bam and Bundy. They broke the ring.
Bundy broke the ring, yeah.
And Shawn Michaels almost incited a riot.
It wasn't you, right, that met Bundy or Bigelow after the show, or was it my buddy Jesse when he got
No, I met Bam Bam. He was a dick.
Yes, he told you to fuck off, didn't he?
Yeah.
When you tried to get an autograph, yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry he's dead, but that's the truth. He told me to fuck off.
Yeah, I can tell you a funny story. I think I told you, didn't I, about Monster Mania? About how I stopped the Nasty Boy from whooping the guy's ass in the lobby last time we were there.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty interesting night. Like, Knobs is about to beat some kid's ass because the kid's, like, talking shit to him. And I had to stop a drunk Brian Knobs because I'm a big guy. I'm, like, a wrestler size. Like, I'm big. And I had to stop Knobs from beating this kid's ass in the lobby of a convention.
Wow.
It turned into be a cool because he sat down and talked to me for about 45 minutes about how he broke into wrestling and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
I don't know if you guys know, the Nasty Boys are originally from Pennsylvania.
Well, Knobs is from Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is close to us. Down by
like 2 hours or so?
Yeah, about 2 hours from here, about an hour from Philly.
Well, some wrestlers are just assholes.
He was a nice guy. Just,
Some of them.
Yeah.
Hey, if somebody's going to be an asshole to me, I'm going to be an asshole back.
Yeah.
No matter how nice of a guy I am.
Yeah.
We actually, back in the day, had Taker come to our high school.
Yeah. Taker headlined a show with about 50 people.
Wow.
Against Adam Bomb.
Adam Bomb. Brian Adams.
I'll never forget it because it was a casket match.
Yeah. Adams? Was he Crush?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Crush for a little while.
You're thinking of Brian Clark.
Yeah, Brian Clark was Adam Bomb.
Yeah, that's right. Brian Clark was Adam Bomb.
And then they were Chronic. What a joke they were.
Chronic, yeah, they went to WCW. Chronic. Oh, Jesus.
What I don't understand is that you give them these, they looked all suited up. You give them the name Chronic, and then they're like, oh, it's Brian Clark and Brian Adams. I'm like, you couldn't even give them like cool names.
Yeah.
Considering you went this far.
Yep.
Well, that was the Kevin Nash, Scott Hall era too, right? So I guess they figured, well, that's easier than
Hey, well, it was
trying
better
to find a new name.
than the Vince Russo era for you there, Lance.
Vince
God.
Russo era.
I liked Vince Russo. I don't know why, but I liked
he
it.
just don't like you.
No, I don't blame him.
No, because what happened was he got kicked out of a Nitro when Russo was running it.
Yeah, I was right in the first row, and you could see me on TV, and I was giving the finger, being an asshole. And all of a sudden, I hear the security come up, and I hear, "Is that the guy?" "Yeah, that's the long hair Vince said, get out of here." So
Can I find this on the WWE network?
No, it's not on yet. And I used to be on YouTube. No, you don't see me get thrown out. No, because it was actually, I watched. It was at like 3 PM. They taped it, and then it was live. I guess they said it was live that night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, I'm like, God, I hope I'm not on there. You just see me in the crowd, and they go to end the match, and then all of a sudden I'm not there.
Oh, dude, speaking of that, I was watching the network the other night, and a lot of the old ECW shows that I was front row for are on the network right now. Like, I was watching, and I was like, holy shit, I look different.
Because we used to get it, Rich, the old ECW on, like, local access here.
Yeah, Sports Channel.
Yeah.
What was it? Thursday afternoons at 6 o'clock or something. Wednesday or Thursday at 6 on Sports Channel.
And then towards the very end, we got it at like 11 o'clock at night.
Dude, you want to know how dedicated I was to the old ECW? I used to get it at like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday nights on the MSG channel.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
Then when they started getting popular, they gave them 2 nights. They gave them Fridays and Sunday, but it was still like in the weed hours.
Yeah.
So I remember in 1995, my uncle was getting married, and he made me one of his groomsmen. So, you know, back in the days, there was no DVR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had to program your fucking VCR to record things at certain times,
Oh,
right?
my God.
So I had to leave my TV, my cable box on the MSG network, and I was telling my grandmother, I was like, "Do not touch nothing here, because I have my stuff programmed to watch when I come back." Because it was the weekend of his wedding.
That's hilarious.
I used to do the same thing, dude. I used remember when Stern used to be on CBS at like 11:30 at night?
Yes.
I would set that to record when I was going to like ECW. I mean, I was going to wrestling, but wanted to record Stern's show.
Mm-hmm.
And I would come home and I would go to play it on the VCR, and it would be like the Channel 6 news instead of Channel 3, and I'd be so livid. Like, how am I going to fucking see Howard Stern now? Somebody would flip the channel.
I used to do the exact same thing, but I'd always do the old set it an hour before and an hour behind, just in case. Because I'd take my wrestling and get right to the end, and I'd be kind of, oh, God, because I set it to the hour. I should have set it for 10 minutes after. Missed the end.
Well, dude, I know I don't want to really do this, but I have to split. Like, I'm up against the time right now.
No, that's cool, dude. We were going to jump off of here anyway.
All right. Well, it was good chatting with you guys. Hope to do it again soon, and, you know, it was fun. Always is.
All right, everybody, we're going to jump out of here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good shit. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.